This is a really, really uncomfortable question.
No, but it's really important to say because people say this all the time.
I know.
I ended up calling the police. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's setup is a little bit different. We've got the fancy microphone out because we're having a pretty serious sit-down conversation with you guys today where we are going to be talking about our experience being in an interracial relationship. We've been together for how long now?
Been together for 3.5.
3.5 years.
And married for 2.5.
Yeah. High five. That was a really quiet high five because of the microphone. So first we're going to be answering a few questions that you guys sent in, and then we are going to be sharing a pretty crazy story with you guys that we've actually never shared before about a time when we were targeted online by a white supremacist group. That's correct, right? White supremacist?
Supremacist.
Supremacist?
Yeah.
A white supremacist group. Supremacist. That doesn't feel organic to me. The first question is, what do you wish the other person understood about your race on a deeper level?
That's a pretty good question. I'd have to say one of the things that I wish you understood a little better is just being stared at. There's been many times, it still happens, a lot less now, but I know someone's staring at me and I know they're judging me. I can tell. I can tell when someone's appreciating my differences, and I can tell when somebody is like, what's that black guy doing in this town?
How often do you feel like you experience that?
I think it's a lot less now, but when I was growing up, it was all the time because it was pretty much just me and my sister in this all white town. And even my mom, who is white, she experienced a lot of it too, because she would be walking down the road with 2 little black kids and people would be staring at her. And so in the same way, I kind of wish that you understood where I'm coming from and why I often just don't like being stared at. Like, I know that's something that comes up. I'll be like, that person's staring at me. And you're like, oh, like they probably don't mean anything by it. And I'm like, no, they're staring at me and I don't like it.
Because you know.
I know.
The second question is more for me. It says, as a South African, did you receive any judgments from other South African acquaintances? Yes. Yeah, I did. When Joshua and I were in the early stages of our relationship, I definitely did experience a lot of South Africans giving me their unsolicited 2 cents about my relationship, mostly from the older generation. And I think that a big part of that is because they were around for the apartheid. And for those of you who don't know about apartheid, basically, that would have to be a whole nother video. But long story short, South Africa has a really long history of racism, with white people showing a lot of violence and racism towards black people, and then eventually black people also doing the same thing to white people. We're talking about blowing up schools, killing people, like really heavy, dark stuff. And a lot of the older generation, they were around for all of that. It's still pretty recent. And so they're very jaded and they have a lot of hurt. And so we don't judge any of those people that have had negative things to say about our relationship. We just view it as they're ignorant, they're hurt, and they have a lot to learn. What I have found is that the people who have made comments like that, the second that they meet Josh and they see us together, they accept it straight away and they realize that their concerns were unnecessary.
Yeah, I think that they have this idea of black people, like most South Africans that are a little bit older, they've got this idea of black people being impoverished, violent people. And that's just simply not the case. I think that one of the reasons why people's perspectives are changed once they meet me is because I try to treat people with respect. I try to listen to people.
I think people meet Josh and then they kind of are confronted with the fact that they judged him way too soon before meeting him, purely by the color of his skin, which in that way I feel like our relationship has actually been really good for people because it causes people to look inside themselves and actually really confront some of their ideologies that they uphold.
But I don't try to hold any anger or hatred towards them because of their ignorance.
Yeah.
I just give them the chance to change the way they think and feel. And if they do, great. If they don't,
bye.
See ya.
Since our answers have been pretty long, we'll just do one more question and then we will tell our story. The final question is, what are some nasty comments that you have gotten? I feel like the nasty comments have mostly been said towards me for being in a relationship with Josh rather than towards you for being in a relationship with me. Would
Correct.
you agree? Yeah. The nasty comments that I have received, I try to just let them like go in one ear and out the other. But there are a couple of comments that have been reoccurring from different people. The first one is, what do you think your kids are going to look like? And it's always been said in a really negative tone from like older South African people. And I just say, I think my kids are going to look beautiful because they're going to look like me and my husband. But that's just kind of hurtful. That's, you know, don't bring kids into it. I think all kids are beautiful, and
No matter what color they are.
yeah, and I have had a lot of people as well tell me like, oh my gosh, biracial babies are the cutest babies. And I think that's really sweet. I'm excited to have babies with this handsome man. This next one I've heard the most, and I haven't heard it from any South Africans. This one I've heard from Canadians and New Zealanders and just people online.
This is a really, really uncomfortable question.
No, but it's really important to say because people say this all the time.
I know.
People have asked me so many times, so is it true what they say about black guys? And you can assume what that is.
What an awkward thing to say.
It's so
right?
freaking awkward. I've been asked that in public at a hair salon, in front of Josh as well, in front of a whole room full of people. So is it true what they say? And it's like, that is wildly inappropriate. That is none of your business, first of all. And just what a rude thing to say. And I feel like it just dehumanizes. Do you feel like it dehumanizes?
Yeah, actually.
It like fetishizes and dehumanizes black men, and I don't like it.
Yeah, to be honest, like I've heard it my whole life. So I'm a little bit desensitized to it. Like I don't like it, but like I've heard it my whole life. It was a lot different like when I'm hearing it like asked to you. It's just very uncomfortable all the way around.
If I don't answer, then they're gonna make an assumption. If I do answer, they're gonna make an assumption. There's really no winning
way,
for
yeah.
me. I just tell people off when they ask me that. I'm just like, that's none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is the end of the questions. Now we are going to be telling a crazy story. May of 2020, I open up my phone and I have like 50 messages from random people that I don't know telling me that my face and location have been posted on a white supremacist website called Colfax, and that I need to check it out ASAP. And I go on this website and they have a picture of me and my location. They put that I lived in Australia, which is so funny because I have never lived in Australia. I lived in New Zealand, but I'm assuming they saw one of my YouTube videos or something and they just assumed my accent was Australian. They had this whole page called The Traders, and it was just all of these girls that were white and in relationships with black men, and they just called us the traders. And they had like this comment section that people would comment on and they would just bash us. There were death threats on there, people saying like find them and kill them. I ended up calling the police in New Zealand and filing like a case towards this website because it was pretty scary. Even though they had my false location, it was still pretty crazy to know that people were watching us. But unfortunately, the police couldn't do anything because the website was being run out of the States. I don't remember exactly where in the States it was, but they like looked up the IP address and stuff, and they legally couldn't do any investigating about it any further than that unless someone from New Zealand was like on that website and actively stalking me. So a bunch of girls who were victims on this site made this Facebook page to just raise awareness about this website and what was going on, and people were just reporting it and trying to get it taken down. And eventually it got taken down, but that was an extremely scary experience. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember
all of that?
because I was getting messages from different people, from men and women, saying like, "Hey, like you're on this website. You probably shouldn't post on any social media for a while. Maybe even delete your Facebook, delete your Instagram, because these people, any information that they have about you, they'll use it. They might come for you."
Yeah, they were saying these people are actually dangerous.
Yeah. Not only were they threatening her, but they were threatening me too. Like, you know, really, really bad stuff that they wanted to do to me because I'm with a white woman. And then how could she be such a traitor to be with someone who's not of her race? And
calling me disgusting names. And it was really eye-opening for me because I kind of thought that all of that, like, you know, extremist racism and stuff was a thing of the past. I didn't think that that would ever happen to us and affect us. And this was 2020. I was like, this was in the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, right? It was just crazy for me that this was happening to us, and our photos were online and we were receiving these threats. It was pretty scary.
Even though this video is mostly focused on like the negative parts of our relationship that we've experienced from other people, the vast majority of how people view our relationship have just been super positive. The most people think, wow, you guys are gonna have such cute babies. Oh, I cannot wait to see their curly little hair. I can't wait to see all this and that.
Their little caramel skin.
The mocha skin. Yeah.
Most people are just so sweet and lovely. And we just wanted to talk about the dark side of it because we want people to know that even though it is 2023 and you may think like racism is dead and there is no more discrimination and all of that, it still is a very common thing that people are experiencing, and it's just important to be aware of it. And if you are in an interracial relationship and you're experiencing anything like this, reach out to us. We'd love to support you. We're in this together, and yeah.
We love you.
If you guys would like to see some more of our videos, here's a video YouTube thinks you would enjoy. Here on Josh's face is a video that we think you would enjoy. And somewhere else on the screen is our most recent video. We post videos every single week, and we hope to see you guys again next week. Bye.
Bye. Peace out.
Okay, we're just going to leave it there.